This week I'm planting up sweet pea wigwams. You can use these canes, you can use them in threes, fives, however big you want the wigwam to be, but I'm just using them in threes, dotted all around the colour wheel here, with hopefully the according colour as well. So I've pushed the canes in. They're about 20 centimetres deep. Canes have got a thinner top and a wider bottom. So you press the wider bottom in, so it's nice and sturdy. Then you gather the top together, and you can either tie it with garden twine, like that, or we sell these cane grips as well. They're wigwam cane grips. So if you've got 5 or 6 canes and a bigger wigwam, you can put that on the top and slot them all through. So that's quite handy, and it's very sturdy as well. So now that's secure, I'm going to wrap around some twine, starting at the base of the wigwam, so that the sweet peas have got something to hang on to, because they've got tendrils, and that's how they grip. So as they climb, they can grab onto this twine and work their way up the wigwam. And sweet peas are an annual climber, so they won't come back next year, but they're really vigorous growing, and they'll really get going really quickly. Once they get to about 10 centimetres high out of the ground, you just pinch the tip out, then they bush up a lot quicker. So we'll just wind this round here. And because they are annual climbers, the main purpose of an annual plant is to set seed so that it carries on the next year. So if you stop it doing that, it's going to try and try and try to keep doing it again. So what we want is that. We want all the flowers. We want it to keep flowering and flowering. So as soon as it develops a seed head, you need to cut that off, because otherwise it will just think it's done its job and stop flowering. So cut the seed heads off regularly. Cut the blooms regularly so you can put them in a nice vase. They've got a lovely, lovely scent. The bees like them as well. And yeah, just make sure you just keep deadheading all the time and regularly watering. Once the weather warms up, the sweet peas really do grow very, very fast. They're good for covering walls, or they're good for growing in containers or up a trellis, anything like that. They'll just grab on and keep growing and growing. Get to the top like that. Cut that off in a second. And now you've got support all the way up for the sweet peas tendrils to hang on to. Right, so now it's time to plant your sweet peas. Just ease them out of the pot here. I'll just show you that they're quite easy to separate. You just like bash them a little bit on the earth, and they all tend to open up. Just prise them apart a tiny bit. If they're really clumped together, just kind of pull them apart a little bit like that. What you want is about, I would say, 3 or 4 per hole. What I'm doing now is just dig a little hole, put them gently in. Oops. Ruffle the soil around and just firm it down. And then just work your way around the outside of the wigwam. Again, 2 or 3. Once they start growing, they'll really bush up. This one's a highly scented white sweet pea called Kathy. I find that the lighter the colour of the sweet pea, it seems to have like a bit of a stronger fragrance. I don't know if that's to attract the insects more, because they're not so brightly coloured, but it just seems to be more scented. So that's them planted. You give them a really good water now you've planted them. And once they get to about 10 centimetres tall, you pinch out the top part of the sweet pea, and it will encourage bushy growth. Once you see flower heads appearing, that's the time to start feeding. They really love a high potassium food. This is really good. If you fed these probably once every 2 weeks with this, it will really encourage the flowering. Make sure the ground is always quite moist under a sweet pea, because if it dries out, the buds will drop off and you won't get many sweet peas and it will start turning yellow. So we don't want that. So just regular feed, lots of water, and you'll have a vase of flowers all summer long in your home.